so hard to speak after that man because he's like,
I fell off a
I'm
curb
just like,
once.
I can listen to you for hours.
I said, that's not true. I didn't fall off a curb. I was pushed by circumstances.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated in characters that I don't get the opportunity to speak their voice, and I find the most interesting characters are normally hidden under rocks and pushed into small corners of society where they don't often have their voice heard. So yeah, and I like to look into characters that don't normally get looked into.
You have a question?
Hi, I'm Valentina Valentini with Real Life with Jane. Tom, the question's for you. What did you do to prepare for this role? Hang out in the hard parts of Brooklyn?
Say again?
What did you do to prepare for this role?
Wow. A lot of my preparation is in my head, you know? So what I do is I read the script once. And then what I do is I sit and I think about, I just think, a lot. And then it's quite, every process is different for every job. And I shot Lock, a film called Lock, about during over 5 days, the week before we started shooting Animal Rescue, and I came off Mad Max. So my preparation time was like about 30 minutes.
Drop was called Animal Rescue.
Oh yeah, Animal Rescue, right? So I had about the flight to Brooklyn to prepare, having read the script and talked with Mikhail, and I knew me, and like a lot of. I mean, the downside to being successful and working is that you don't have a lot of time to prepare, to be fair. So I had to make some decisions fast. And they're human decisions. Like Bob, whether, there's specifics to Brooklyn, there's specifics to postcode and zip code, I suppose is the word in there. But there's also human stories. There's a Greek tragedy going on in the drop for me. There's, which is international. So, so I start to meditate on character and what's going on and the different layers that are going on, and I start to think about what's interesting to play whilst trying to exfoliate a character center and work out why someone's doing what they're doing in order to get what they need. There's 3 different, it's all story-based. It's from analysis of text, but I don't have to go over the text with a fine toothpick and do it with pen and paper. I just start to think about the different layers of structure with each individual character and what I'm asking from each one. And so, with conversations with my colleagues, we start to unravel the investigation and start. After we had the costume fittings and the makeup, etc., that we set, specific parameters to what Bob looked like, which you had very key. He had a very specific look for Bob. I was given my jacket and my facial hair, and I pushed out to go and explore, like very, very quickly. So the preparation was on the job, if that makes sense. So what's happening in the scenes is me working and researching Bob as we're moving, and does that make sense? So you have to make decisions very quickly on the floor because they have ramifications and knock-on effects. Now, as the investigation opened, and we're all on an investigation together, we start to synchronize. And each player, each of my colleagues brings something to the table, and having done their research and due diligence as well, the alchemy starts to take place. A lot of it is common sense. And as for accents and whatnot, I have a lot of friends from New York. And I listen, we watch a lot of movies. There's a lot of information from New York that comes in, from whether it's rap music right through to, the Labyrinth Theatre Company that I work with quite a bit. I have good friends there. So I have a sound that I want to find, which isn't necessarily specific to a zip code, but specific to trying to transmute the vision of Mikhail Roscom's vision and the script of the case file. There's a sound and a tonality that I want to create, which actually will provide an authenticity to character initially. And then we'll start to hang an accent accent of people that I'm working with. So if I'm working with Jimmy, I'm going to pick up his cadence. If I'm working with Matthias, I'm going to pick up his cadence. With Numi, the same. Like I do in life as well. When I speak to people, I will pick up and articulate myself best in a way that I know that that person might want to hear what I'm saying. So it becomes sleight of hand, and it's not necessarily an orthodox research or technical procedure, as you might want to hear. I just fake it to make it and hope that something sticks.
I have a question for Naomi and Tom, as Matthias is not here at the moment. He's really one of our top talents in Belgium, and I wanted to ask both of you what makes him so unique, and where do you think lays his greatest qualities and artistic talents?
Well. Well, he's an alpha male, right? Who's sensitive. So that narrows it down to like probably like a handful of actors in the world, really. Anyway, he's without wanting to write him a love letter. But he
I've been
kind of
praising him
deserves
for
one.
days. I'm so tired of saying good things about him.
No, he deserves one.
No,
what makes
I
him
adore
good?
him.
You know, what makes him good? I mean, that's.
He's one of the best actors I work with. He's
Yeah,
incredible.
me too.
And like, you know, we improvised the scene in the kitchen in my house. And that it's very few people that I've worked with that you feel that you can go in and just see where it's gonna lead into. It like be completely open. I trust him with I trust him 100%. And he always surprised me, like, you know, and it was alive and moving. And he's very strong, very powerful, but very sensitive at the same time. And not competitive, like very generous, like so much love.
He's awake as well. You know,
Yeah.
he's awake and alive very much so. He doesn't phone anything in, so he's incredibly present. Something that is mind-blowing to me is he's speaking English is his second language, and his Brooklyn accent, as far as I'm concerned, is arguably the best accent in the film. And that just, to me, anyway, just from the outside looking in, and you know, is incredible. If you just think about what somebody's doing there, they're speaking in another language and putting a zip code on that language. That's not average. You know, that's just, and it's a result-based environment. That's a player. The fact that physically he's a masculine guy, but his sensitivity and his articulation and his sensuality is also awake. Provides you with an asset who has an incredible amount of range and intelligence as well that he can then articulate and physically manifest. So you're dealing with somebody who's very specifically an asset. Regardless of blowing smoke up his ass, the guy's, you know, he's in the top 10 of his age group in the
Definitely,
world.
yeah.
So if it's like, I mean, he's every right to be your most valuable player. You know what I mean? To be quite honest, the guy's shit hot. That's it. I'm not gonna give him.
I would
But
even
I'd
add
still
one-
take his roles if I go up for them. You know?
I'll add one thing to it.